Hey everybody, and welcome to this week's Stitch Up. So the theme for this week is Cut Saturday, Sew Sunday, and Wear Monday. There is a bit of a trilogy of amazing things all happening at once. So I got my big wall calendar, as you know, and I'm actually organized a little bit ahead of time. So I know when I'm filming this that when you get this, Mother's Day is going to be 2 weeks later, which is like so mind-blowingly organized for me. I'm astounded. But Anzac weekend, what I can do for you. So firstly, I wanted to show you, yes, this is my bow tie top, formerly called the Nice Top. I finally gave it a bit of a name. Really super cute in our Sunshine and Lollipops linen viscose. But what is releasing this week, which is really exciting, and it is free until Mother's Day, is our extension. It's the extended mix. So what that is for our remix top is the bottom 2 panels to make it into a dress like this. Now, I've tied it all together beautifully so that you can, it's going to be Mother's Day soon. And that means different things to all of us. Some of us are being cheered on by mums from the stars, that we might have some beautiful things of theirs in the cupboard, like, for instance, some beautiful old linen, maybe grandma, maybe an auntie, maybe your own, or collections of things. And what I am thinking is, some beautiful memory type version of the remix in the dress version. So it takes about 4 hours to make the top, 4 to 5 hours to make the top. So it's going to take you maybe an extra hour, I'm guessing, tops, absolutely most, to make it as a dress. So if you've already got the top pattern, you can email me and I'll send you the dress extension until Mother's Day. It's free. And then if you don't, you can buy the top pattern and I'll still send you the dress extension for free until Mother's Day. So Anzac weekend, we've got, lots of what's memories and emotions and thinking about our family and what other people have done for us. And so I think it's a really nice time. We've also got a public holiday, which is awesome. So it's just a really nice time to be able to think about how you might be able to take some time to get your sewing machine out and maybe pull some things together that striking some beautiful memories or creating new ones, whatever it is. Maybe you could sew the dress with your daughter, son, sister, best friend, husband, who cares, anyone you like. But it's just a really nice sort of, I don't know, I always feel really connected to my family at this time of year. And I just thought that the dress pattern would be a really nice way to incorporate that and give it some meaning. And so the idea is to take some time on the long weekend and think about making a dress. You've got plenty of time before Mother's Day and plenty of time on the long weekend. So you can make a dress for yourself to wear on Mother's Day. You can make a dress to gift on Mother's Day. You'll have enough time if you do it on the Anzac weekend. And you could also make a dress that you might intend on gifting, but maybe decide later to keep for yourself, whatever you like. You could also just make it as the top, the same idea. So this one's not actually a tablecloth fabric, but I've cut it with the motifs placed in the middle of the pattern. So this was an all-over print, but I cut it with the intention of making it look like a tablecloth. And another thing I did with this to get the most use out of the fabric was to put a seam down the center. Now, because I joined this with a ladder trim, I didn't worry about adding any extra seam allowance. I just kind of figured that ladder trim would be enough extra. Can you see? And it fits fine. It's not a super tight fitting or super structurally fitting dress, so there's a bit of leeway with this. Same with the ladder trim down the front. I just cut the pattern as it normally is. I didn't worry about adding or taking off seam allowances, and then I just added the ladder trim. And on the inside, just so you can see, that's how it looks. So hopefully that inspired you to get your sewing machine out and make some memories for Mother's Day, whatever that means for you. So our tool for this week is a video on how to assemble your A4 pattern. So if you're buying any of these patterns and you want to print it right now in A4 and have it ready because you've got a tablecloth or whatever it is in your cupboard that you want to sew right this minute, you can print it on A4. There's a video on our website and the link will be in the email or in the description below, and that will show you where to go. But if you go to beginner sewing, there's instructions on our website for Learn to Sew, how to assemble the A4 pattern. So that's a really handy thing. Our A4 patterns, you don't have to cut, you can just overlap. They're sort of designed to do that. So they're really easy to use. So I had a lovely phone call from Jan in Culburra Beach. She is making the remix top right now, maybe even as I'm talking to you. And she was wondering, she wanted to know because she was putting different panels together in different fabrics, some of the fabrics were pre-washed and some of them were not. She was worried that that might create problems. So just so you know, when you're using modern textiles, the shrinkage rate is probably never going to be more than 5% unless you're using a high viscose content, then it may shrink a lot. So if you imagine the panel pieces here are only, they're all sitting in a fat quarters, which is about 50 centimeters. So 5% of that is like 2 centimeters. It's going to shrink not very much. So if you've got two pieces stitched together like this and they're different fabrics and they wash differently, if it hasn't been pre-washed, it's only going to shrink up a tiny bit over that amount of space. It's not a big deal. So color running, if it's a new fabric, that might be a problem. But you know what? What's the worst thing that can happen is what I said to Jan, just go for it. Like if you really want to sew something now and your fabric's not pre-washed, most of the stuff you buy in the stores new has not been pre-washed either. So don't stress too much about it. Some vintage textiles are not manufactured with the technology that we have now, and some of those do shrink more, particularly the early viscoses. So that is something to watch, but quite often they shrink in length more than width. So it's just a few things to think about, but it's not really a huge big deal. The percentage is not that great. If you're worried, you can always cut that fabric a little bit bigger or a little bit longer if you're not sure, and then wash it before you make, whatever, make that hem on that bit a bit longer so you can let it down if you need to. There's lots of different ways around it. Awesome. So for the press play, we've sort of already talked about it. We've got the long weekend, we've got the remixed top, we've got the free dress extension mix until Mother's Day. So if you cut Saturday, if you sew Sunday, you can wear it Monday or have it ready to post Monday. Also for Mother's Day, we've got gifts that you might like to buy for yourself or for another mother or a friend or a father or anyone you like. You'll have about a week and a half of time to get it posted to you before Mother's Day or to them directly. So there's a few things that we'll list in the email that might be really nice gifts. And, make sure you spoil yourself as well. You've done enough shit for everybody else. And it's coming to the time of the day of the year, the one day of the year. If you can't do something for yourself on Mother's Day, shit, when can you? Anyway, I hope that it's a nice day for you and not too sad if there's, people that are cheering you on from the heavens. And yeah, I just really hope that you get to do something nice. That's a really good excuse to pull out your sewing machine if that's what you want to do. And yeah, maybe make something nice to wear on the day so it's memorable or more memorable or fun or whatever you want it to be. See you later, everybody.